Imagine yourself in a quiet night, alone with your thoughts, far from the noise of the world. You find yourself in a moment where every breath seems heavier with meaning, where every thought becomes a silent prayer. And then you remember this ancestral power, this secret day that many people ignore, the sujood. Today, I will reveal to you a spiritual method that can literally change your destiny. Do you want to know how? Repeat this 7 times in sujood for 3 nights and observe what happens. A promise from Allah that you can touch with your own hands, a connection that goes beyond words and gestures. Are you ready to discover the power of this simple but profound act? If so, stay with me until the end and dive into this spiritual journey that could transform your life forever. 1. The secret of sujood, a door to the invisible. The wind blows over the dunes, raising waves of golden sand under the merciless sun. A man walks, his shoulders hunched with fatigue. His lips are dry, his breath is short. He's looking for something, a way out, a hope. But as far as the eye can see, there is only the infinity of the desert. His steps become heavy. He collapses. At this moment, only one thought crossed his mind. Ya Allah, help me. And that's when he sees it. A well. Lonely, silent, but full of promise. He crawls over to him, places his hands on the edge. The water is there, a few meters away, but to reach it, he must plunge into the darkness, lower himself, humiliate himself. The sujood is this well. It is the place where the soul pours out, where the ego fades, where we dive into the invisible to draw a light that no gaze can capture. When your forehead hits the ground, the world disappears. You are nothing more than a servant before his Lord, a drop of water lost in the ocean of his mercy. Allah said, "And bow down and draw near." Surat Al-Alaq 96:19. Bow down and feel. Feel your heart calm down. Feel the weight of the world disappear. In this moment, everything that oppressed you, everything that prevented you from moving forward, dissipates like mist under the sun. In the silence of sujood, there is a secret conversation, a language that only Allah understands. When you put your forehead to the ground, you say to Him without words, "Ya Allah, I am weak, but you are strong. I am lost, but you are the guidance. I am broken, but you are the one who mends hearts." Have you ever felt this deep peace? That moment when your soul frees itself from the weight of the world, when everything that seemed impossible becomes accessible. Because there is a secret. He who prostrates himself never falls. When the pain becomes unbearable, when the ordeal seems endless, sujood is the answer. It is the invisible door that leads to the unknown, where Allah writes destinies that man cannot yet understand. For 3 nights, repeat these words, and let the light of Allah touch your soul. 2. The story of the man who saw his destiny change. In a city forgotten by the world, between narrow and dusty streets, lived a once prosperous man. His thriving business collapsed overnight. His entourage, once full of friends and associates, had vanished like a shadow at sunset. His home, once filled with laughter, now resonated with the silence of solitude. He was ruined, betrayed, alone. Every evening he looked up at the starry sky, searching for an answer. But the sky remained silent. The days passed, and misery gripped his heart like a vice.
He knocked on all the doors, hoping for work, help, a sign, but faces turned away, hands closed. He had only one thing left: prayer. That night, he fell into prostration. His forehead touched the ground, and his heart opened like never before. He had no more ego, no more pride, no more strength. Only one certainty: Allah is there. He hears, He sees. In a trembling voice, between sobs, he repeated this invocation 7 times. Ya Allah, Anta Rabbi, La ilaha illa Anta, alayka tawakkaltu, wa Anta Rabbul Arshil Azim. O Allah, You are my Lord. There is no God but You. In You I place my trust, and You are the Lord of the great throne. He stood there, panting, his heart beating like a war drum in his chest. He didn't know what was going to happen. He just knew that he had just opened a door to the invisible. The next day, nothing changed, nor the day after tomorrow. But on the 3rd day, while he was walking aimlessly in the market, he heard someone calling him, an old friend he hadn't seen in years. After a few words exchanged, his friend made him a proposition that changed his life. An unexpected opportunity. A door that seemed sealed suddenly opened. It was a miracle. Allah did. Call on me, I will hear you. Surah Ghafir 40:60. The man fell to his knees, tears in his eyes. He then understood that the test was not an abandonment but a purification. A way for Allah to bring him back to Him, to teach him that true refuge is not found in men, but in prayer. So you, when everything seems lost, when life pushes you to the limit, will you have the patience to persist? Even when help is slow to arrive? 3. Why 7 times? The mystery of the sacred number. The number 7 is everywhere, inscribed in the very fabric of the universe, woven in the language of the Quran and creation. Why 7? Why not 6 or 8? Why this specific repetition to open the doors of the invisible? In the Quran, Allah reveals to us, and we have built 7 heavens above you, one above the other. Surah An-Naba 78-12. 7 heavens, 7 earths, 7 days of the week, 7 towers around the Kaaba. And in the most essential surah of our faith, the Fatiha, there is 7 verses. Nothing is chance. The number 7 embodies divine completeness. Each repetition is a spiritual vibration, a cosmic opening. It's like knocking on a sacred door, once, twice, until it finally opens. Look around you. The waves of the ocean return tirelessly. The stars follow a precise cycle. The moon goes through its 7 phases before reaching its full light. Everything in creation follows a rhythm, a harmony. Repeat this invocation 7 times. It's aligning your soul with this divine order. O Allah, Anta Rabbi, La ilaha illa Anta, alayka tawakkaltu, wa Anta Rabbul Arshil Azim. Once the seed is planted, twice it starts to sprout. 3 times she takes root. 4 times she grows. 5 times she gains strength. 6 times it rises. 7 times she opens to the heavens. And you, do you feel the power of these words when you repeat them? Have you ever felt that moment when a sacred word no longer becomes a simple sound, but an energy that flows through your being? If yes, then imagine the impact of repeated supplication 7 times. In the middle of sujood, the moment when you are closest to Allah. Let yourself be immersed in this vibration. Feel it. Experiment with it. 4. Prostration, a secret code with Allah. Imagine that you are holding a phone in your hands. It's locked. Without the voucher code secret, impossible to access the treasures it contains. You can press the keys randomly, but nothing will open. Sujood is this code with Allah. This is the moment when you lay everything down. Your burdens, your hopes, your tears. It is an invisible key that opens the doors to divine help. The Prophet Muhammad said, "The state in which the servant is closest to his Lord is when he is in prostration." Muslim 482. Imagine an instant. You are in sujood. Your forehead touches the ground. Your heart is empty of the distractions of the world. This is where the soul speaks directly to its Creator. In this position of extreme humility, you are in reality at the top spiritually. But ask yourself this question. When was the last time you really felt the depth of sujood? Is it a mechanical gesture, repeated without consciousness, or a moment when your heart fades to leave room only for Allah? The greatest secrets of destiny are written in the sujood. The Prophet prayed for a long time, prolonging his prostration in the dark nights of the desert. Fatima, may Allah be pleased with her, saw her father crying in this posture. The companions felt this indescribable connection, and you? When you place your forehead on the ground, are you there, really there, with your heart, your soul, and your faith? Repeat this invocation 7 times. In this sacred position, during through consecutive nights, is entering a code that only your soul and your Lord know. Try, experience, feel. Sujood is not just a posture. It is a direct conversation with the one who holds your destiny. 5. The test of patience. When Allah tests before granting. The night is dark. He is alone. His body is broken. His skin is bruised. The wind blows through the ruins of his once prosperous home. The Prophet Ayub, Job, peace be upon him, lost everything. His health, his wealth, his children. Everything he loved was taken away from him, one by one. He was once an honored man, known for his generosity and piety. But when the test came, languages have changed. The people murmured, "If Allah loved him, why would he take all this away from him?" More Ayub never doubted. He suffered in silence. He cried in the night, but he never stopped prostrating himself, until the day when, in a barely audible voice, he murmured this invocation in his sujood, "O my Lord, evil has touched me, but you are the most merciful of the merciful." Surat Al-Anbiya 21:83. And Allah answered, "So we restored to him what he had lost, and as much with it, out of mercy on our part." Surat Sad 38:43. His body regenerated. His property was returned to him. His children were returned to him. The ordeal was over. But imagine for a moment. What if Ayub had given up one night before help arrived? What if, in his pain, he had stopped prostrating himself, thinking that his call had gone unanswered? How many times have we been one step away from relief, but given up too soon? You may have prayed, cried, begged, but the ordeal continues. What if this night was the last before everything changed? Repeat this invocation 7 times in sujood, persist for 3 nights, and wait. Perhaps your name is already written among those whose invocation will be answered. But do you have the patience? 6. How to enter a state of sujood with the heart. Prostration is more than just a movement. It is an immersion, a dissolution of the ego, a door to the invisible. But how to fully enter into it? It is not enough to put your forehead on the ground. Sujood must come from the heart. Warm, Purify your body and soul. Before approaching Allah, purify yourself. Perform your ablutions with full awareness. Feel the water running over your hands, your face, your feet. Imagine that each drop carries a burden, a doubt, an impurity. Let the water flow like rain that washes away your past. Think about this hadith from the Prophet. When the servant performs his ablutions carefully, his sins leave his body, even under his fingernails. Muslim 245. 2. Choose the right time. The times when the world is plunged into silence are the times when the sky opens. The last hours of the night, when everything sleeps, the angels descend. After the Fajr prayer, when daylight emerges, it takes with it hidden blessings. And in part of the night, bow down before Him and glorify Him for many hours during the night. Surat Al-Insan 76-26. 3. Place your forehead on the ground with humility. When your forehead touches the ground, remember who you are. You are dust, an ephemeral breath in this infinite universe. But in this moment, you are closer to Allah than ever. Imagine that you are before the throne of Allah. Imagine that your soul melts into the divine light. Imagine that each prostration is a key that opens a door to heaven. The Prophet said, "The state in which the servant is closest to his Lord is when he is in prostration." Muslim 482-4. Recite with pure intention. Do not repeat words mechanically. Speak with your soul. Listen. Ya Allah, I come to you without strength, without power. I trust you. You are my refuge, my light, my hope. And remember this promise from Allah. And when my servants ask you about me, then I am near. I hear the call of the one who calls on me when he calls on me. Surah Al-Baqarah 286-5. Surrender completely to Allah. During these 3 nights, let each prostration be a letting go. What if you let Allah take charge? What would happen if, for once, you stopped controlling everything and let Allah guide you? Try. Prostrate yourself and watch what happens. Your destiny is in your hands and your forehead on the ground. Everything is already written, yes. But you also have the power to change the course of your story. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, has given you the freedom to choose, to make choices that change your path. And this freedom begins in the humility of sujud. Sujud is not simply a physical position. It's a door open to the invisible and bridge between your soul and heaven. Allah does not change the state of a people until they change what is in themselves. Surah Ar-Ra'd 13:11. Your destiny begins in your heart. It is shaped by the strength of your prayers, the intensity of your invocations, and everything can change. But the question is, are you ready? Are you ready to submit completely to Allah, to place your forehead on the ground, and let divine light transform what seems uncertain to you? You have in your hands the ability to change your reality. It is in this sincere sujud, this prayer that comes from the heart, that spiritual magic works. Repeat this 7 times in sujud, during 3 nights, with faith, with the pure intention that your Creator hears your supplications. And then watch what happens. Stay patient, because Allah always answers. But sometimes He waits to see if you are ready to stay faithful in the quest for what you want. The ground is before you, and the heavens are opened. What are you waiting for to take this step? There you go. You now know the secret that can change the direction of your destiny. Repeat these words in sujud with faith for 3 nights. It is much more than a ritual act. It's an intimate spiritual connection with Allah, an invitation to transform your heart and your existence. The change is within you, and it begins with a single gesture, placing your forehead on the ground. So, are you ready to take this step? To touch the ground and see the heavens open for you? It is not a simple gesture. It is a path to divine blessing. Never forget, everything is in your hands, and it all begins with sincere prostration. Answer the call, and let the light of Allah guide you.